So in this video I'm going to talk about the OSUOSL, Oregon State University lab that we have with our power systems. Specifically this is the OpenStack interface, so if you've used OpenStack before this will be relatively familiar to you. This is the OpenStack interface that we use for controlling the power Linux systems. We don't manage AIX through here, that's an entirely separate infrastructure. So this is the normal OpenStack overview of what sort of things we have. You can see we've got 30 of 20 instances used at the moment. So I'm just going to go through the normal process of creating a new instance. So the instances, that's all the ones we have at the moment. Launch instance. First thing as usual is a name for the machine. And yeah, again there's sort of relatively short names that we use here. So CentOS 7.9-1, there we go, that'll do. Description is needed, all the rest can be left as is. For next source, normally the boot source, you can use a volume if you have a pre-existing machine, but we will normally use an image to deploy a new system. So you've got various options. You've got Alma, Linux, CentOS, CentOS 7, various versions of CentOS 8, which are probably not that useful at the moment because it's no longer in support. You've got CentOS Stream as well. I'm going to pick the latest CentOS 7.9, I think. Yes, little arrow there is the one that you use to select, and once you've clicked that, it shows up here. That'll be a bit more obvious on some of the later pages. So this is the different sizes of systems you can have. I'm going to take a relatively small one, so a 4 GB of RAM. You can see what the impact on your quota will be by using that little drop down there. Again, I'm just going to click the little, scroll up. If I click the up arrow, you'll see that it will then move up there. There it goes. And then you can move on to networks, which is the only other one that has a star beside it. So you can I click network, or if I scroll down to the bottom of the previous screen, you'd have the next page as well. But networks, I think let's have an IPv4 and an IPv6 address. It's always very useful to have both of them there. We'll just quickly scroll through the other panels for those that haven't seen it before. Key pair. This is in order to be able to log into the machine. You need to import or create a key pair on there. We don't have any available by default in here at the moment. I should probably fix that and have a default set that we can use for some of the team, or a Brasilian server, for example. But I can import a key pair, and if I go to my GitHub account, you can see these are the keys that I have in my GitHub. So these are all publicly visible, so nothing secret about these. I can paste that in there and say SSA key. Key type is obviously an SSH key. Import a key pair, and it will be happy with that. And so that will be deployed on the machine, so we can log into it. Customization scripts. Don't use any of those. There's all the other things, scheduler hints, blah 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 blah. And launch instance, you can obviously, once you've completed all the ones that have the little stars beside them, so after the networking page you can just click launch instance and it will go ahead and do that. So the top one here is the one that's been created, and that's it now running, so that's good. So it's all fully up and running now. If I click that, it should show me all the details of it. There it goes, all set up and so on. Console, you can go into the console to actually see what the machine is doing, and it's booting at the moment. That should just take a minute. Again, in terms of the user interface, there's sort of quite a few places now that are using an OpenStack interface, and this is one of them. So it's going to be broadly the same process for any of the ones that use OpenStack. There we go. That's that. At a login prompt. That's good. So you could obviously send a Control-Alt-Del and various other things onto that console. Right, what else we got? If we go back to the instances, you get all the options on the right hand side, so you can create a snapshot from it, you can attach network interfaces and so on. You can see this has already got its IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. You get all the options to resize, suspend, pause, all the normal ones, and do a hard reboot of the instance. That will just force it to reboot as though you pulled the power lead out of it. Soft reboot, you do a bit of a soft shutdown where it's the equivalent of logging in and doing a shutdown -R on the machine. There it goes, it's running again. So I can now, there's obviously the option to rebuild the instance if I want to just reinstall the operating system and so on. And I can now make sure I've got the right one, delete the instance using that menu as well. And there it goes. So that's deletion has been scheduled, but it's now disappeared from the user interface, so can't do anything more with that. So that's a quick overview of how to do things on the OSUOSL interface. Thanks for listening.